Now we're going to make a monotype print using a potato that we're going to carve, and then also a vanilla pudding pack with food coloring. That will allow us to make our own paint during remote learning. During this time, we may not have paint to be able to use. So I'm going to cut the potato in half. Then I'm going to take the potato, dry it off. That way the pencil can write on it carefully a little bit. You do it too hard, you can cut yourself. You don't have to go too deep. I'm going about 1/8 of an inch deep, which I can see through the potato because I'm not going too deep, to cut around the side very carefully of what the shape of the object that I'm going to try to carve. So for now, I'm going to move to making the pudding paint. So I'm going to take a spoon of pudding, put it in each cup. Then we will add some food coloring to it. The brighter you want and darker you want your colors, the more food coloring you put in it. So start off with yellow. Mix it up really well. So it's a pretty bright yellow that I'm making. I will create a red. I want a pretty dark red, so I'm adding extra coloring in there. Then I'm going to mix blue. Nice vibrant colors, because making paint with pudding is going to be a little bit transparent. Alright, so now that I got my paints mixed, I can throw away my shavings. I already have a pre-cut frame that I used earlier for a different project, so I want to use that frame again so that way I can stay in the confines of the same size each time. Lightly trace my rectangle, the way I can stay in that rectangle the best that I can. I'm going to take the frame off because I don't really need it for this particular project that I'm doing. I'm going to paint some of this netting so that way it becomes the background. I'm going to grab a different piece of cardboard so that way I don't get the pudding everywhere else to be blue netting. So I am going to try my best to soak this netting with the food coloring. Remember, food coloring will stain your clothes, so just like other paints. The only place that I'm going to use my blue that I'm created is on the netting. So we're finished with the blue. Move that out of the way. Now, move the board out, and I'm going to try to strategically place this how I would like it. Now, it is making some markings separate from what I want to do, and that is fine. I like how it's doing that. Grab another piece of cardboard so I don't get it all over my hands. That. Let's see if it made the markings I like. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now, it did go on the outside of the frame, and that's fine, because if I were to frame this piece of artwork, they're going to go into the the size of the frame that I want. I'm going to take an extra piece of paper and I'm going to place it on top of it just to kind of dry it a little bit quicker, but also to make some of the lines a little bit more opaque. Careful not to smear. And peel away safely so that way you don't destroy your piece of artwork. I'm going to take my carving. I'm going to dab it with a paper towel every so often. And I'm going to take another brush. You know, I want my fish to be red. So I'm going to use my red paint that I made with the pudding. And I'm only going to put it on top of where I carved. Beautiful sound. Alright. Put my first fish. Push it down as a stamp and pull it up. In places. Press it down. Carefully not to smear it everywhere. Remember, you also want to make sure your composition is balanced. There's my potato. Next is going to be my green. For my green, I'm using a water bottle cap. Again, you want to make sure you put enough on there, but you also want to make sure that you're balanced in how you create these. There's my cap. Next is going to be my yellow. My yellow, I'm going to use a palette knife. Be careful not to go overboard with the amount, because then you don't want to you don't want to mess up your beautiful image you're making, so be careful. Again, you don't want to put too much in some places because you don't want to go, again, overboard. Again, I'm going to take a piece of loose leaf or a piece of paper, and I am going to place it on top and push it down just to get some of the extra pieces out. Hopefully I don't smear my piece. I'll peel it back carefully. And now we have our image. I'm going to put the frame back on this so you can see what it would look like if it was framed. And you have a nice piece of artwork. All right. Thank you all very much.